I've never told this story out loud before. So. When I was 20 years old, then I became a mom. I remember when I found out, my dad called me. He told me it's 5 in the morning, that your mom had a stroke and that you need to come home. And I live 2 hours away from home, so I called all my siblings and said, "Gotta get to the hospital, I'll be there in a little bit." And on the train ride, I remember thinking that it's going to be okay because my grandfather had had 2 strokes before and he woke up from both of them and everything was fine. But of course, when I got to the hospital, then the doctors told us that she wasn't going to wake up. The stroke was just that bad. For the next couple of months, while we all waited in the hospital, waiting for her to wake up and going through the roller coasters of infections and false alarms, they just kept telling us that she was going to be a vegetable. So we took her home. Because we felt that after months of being in just horrible hospital and nursing home care, that we could take better care of her. We took her home. We set up a home hospital. My dad's a huge flea marketer, so he got all these great deals. Got a big hospital bed that even, moved up and down so we can move around easily. And my sister's a pharmacist and a couponer. So there's that. And it was just the 3 of us for almost a year in that one little room taking care of her. And at first it was really good. I remember for my 21st birthday, she had just come home, and there was a big thunderstorm that knocked the power out, and of course we didn't know what to do about the backup battery. So my dad was running around from neighbor to neighbor's house and asking, "Could you charge us an extra battery?" And my sister and I were just at home. It was really hot, so we took wet paper towels and just mopped her face as she was sweating, and the bed was deflating, and she just looked really cute. She lived through that. When we found power, everything was okay. And it was just strange because when you take home someone in that state, then despite what the doctors told us, you see her grow and you see her develop and you see her get better. She could squeeze her hands after a while. Whenever you brushed her teeth, she would make a face because she didn't like the way the mint toothpaste tasted. But she did like it when we snuck her bacon on her tongue. And it was really sweet. The routines, day after day, just taking care of her and just seeing her smirk or make a small noise. Reading her stories and putting her to sleep at nighttime. It went downhill around Christmas time. She had gotten a kidney infection, and I remember at that point we were all just going mad, just being stuck in that one place. And my dad decided that it was time to pull the plug. So I remember the last night that I was with her, then I took care of her as usual, washed her hair and brushed her teeth and read her a story. And I fell asleep every night like I always did, with her arm around me. And then I woke up the next morning and she was decomposing all over me. And it's just so strange the way the body just falls apart so fast. And all of my relatives had passed in the hospital, and you just don't see that. Pieces of her had just slid off in my hair and soaked into my clothes. And I don't think I'll ever forget that smell. And so my siblings and my dad and I, we got together and we washed her for the last time, just wiping away all the pieces of her body, of her ear falling off, pieces of her skin coming off her feet, and just islands of her coming apart. And it's weird. I've been taking care of my nieces and nephew lately and getting them ready for school or a special event, just getting them dressed. And I remember the day of her viewing, I was so excited for her in a weird way. when the funeral home picked her up, I picked out her favorite dress. When we got to the funeral home, at that point we had shaved her head, and they spiked it for some reason, and it made her look like a punk rock star, which, I don't know if you've seen little Vietnamese women, but they don't look like punk rock stars. And I just remember that, you know, telling her that this was a big day for her, it's almost over. And I just told her what she always told me,